tell you guys. 3. Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to Leap Reviews. I'm Charlene. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. So I wanted to come on here really quick and make a video about the most recent episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta that premiered on Sunday. I don't even know what episode it is, but I just wanted to come on and give my unpopular opinion maybe about this whole Kelly versus Brit situation. And I'm so sorry, but I'm team Brit on it. I'm sorry. I believe more so of Brit's side of the story than I do Kelly, okay? Now, Kelly and Brit said that they were probably friends for about a year prior to filming. Now, what it sounds like to me is that production probably told them, hey, you guys are chosen to be on the show, so maybe you guys should hang out and build some type of connection, so when you guys start filming, it won't be awkward. I don't think that they were just friends just because, like, you know, they shopped at the same place and ended up hanging out. You get what I mean? So I will say that I will say I think that their friendship was kind of manipulated and curated for the show. However, they were friends for about a year. I think when the show started filming, I believe I'm correct on that, Kelly suggested that Brit utilize her glam squad. Kelly has a whole glam squad, okay? I know Kelly has a restaurant. She has a couple of businesses and things that she's doing, but I don't know who her ex-husband is. But he might got some money because, like, I don't know. Kelly be doing her thing. Like, she has her whole glam squad. She has 4 kids. I mean, she looks nice. I mean, to be able to afford all of that, she must be making a good coin. But nonetheless, Kelly has a glam squad. Okay, cool. Now, Kelly said that Brit started going behind her back and meeting up with her glam squad and having secret meetings with her glam squad. I don't believe that. I'm sorry, I don't believe that. I believe at the very end of the day, Kelly extended her services, her resources to Brit, and Brit was utilizing them. And when Brit was utilizing them, she got irritated that Brit was utilizing her glam squad. She probably felt like maybe her glam squad was paying more attention, or she didn't have as much time to do her looks because the glam squad is on the same trip trying to do Brit's look. Or maybe she just felt like, girl, get your own swag. Like, I told you I was going to help you, but girl, get your own swag. But somewhere along the line, Kelly did get bothered by the fact that Brit was using her glam squad. But do I think that Kelly was trying to, steal her glam squad and, have these secret meetings behind her back? I think she might have talked to the stylist in her glam squad outside of the realm of Kelly, but that was because they were working together. But do I think that, like, she set up, like, some sneaky meeting to, like, come up with the plan to, like, go against Kelly or whatever? Like, no, I really don't believe that. What I genuinely believe is that Kelly felt some type of way about Brit using her glam squad, whether it be because Brit was doing too much, whether she felt like they were spending too much time on her looks, whether they felt like the glam squad was dressing her better, whatever the reason was, Kelly felt some type of way. And she didn't want to just come out and say, girl, I really don't want you using my glam squad. Like, I really don't want you with my team anymore. She didn't want to say that outright because then it would have came off like maybe like her being a hater a little bit. And so maybe she didn't want to expose herself in any way that would make her look any type of way. I mean, because how do you tell somebody, hey girl, you can come in my closet and borrow some of my clothes, and then once they start borrowing your clothes, you're like, damn, I don't want this bitch wearing my clothes no more. Like, it would come off a certain type of way. So instead of her just coming out and being like, girl, I don't want you utilizing my glam squad, she had to come up with reasons to, like, bundle up together to justify why she feels some type of way. When really what it is you don't want her to work with your glam squad, like, point blank period. And so, I do think that Brit and Kelly's falling out has everything to do with Kelly. And my whole thing is, it's nothing wrong with feeling some type of way and not wanting somebody to use your stuff anymore. I remember, simplistically, in high school, I remember one of my close friends, this is when the Keisha Cole album recently had came out, her first album, The Way It Is. You know, I Should Have Cheated, Love, like, you know, all that. And my homegirl had the CD, but it was a burnt CD. And I was like, hey, can I borrow it? And I borrowed it, and I loved the CD. I wore that CD out. And it got to the point where my homegirl was like, girl, give me back my CD. It's mine. Give me back my CD. I told you that you could borrow it. You know, I told you could borrow it, but this was back in the day when you had house phones. I might have had a cell phone, but even still, the cell phone was like this, you know, but this was like back in like 05, 06. So, you know, but yeah, like even my homegirl, she's like, you know what, like it's my stuff. I don't want you to use it anymore. So give it back to me. And so I just don't think Kelly wanted to come off a certain type of way. But what I don't respect is you trying to make up different things to distance yourself from Kelly. Just say what it is. And I believe Brit is absolutely right when she said this could have been figured out with a simple phone call. You could have simply called me and say, hey girl, I know I said that, you know, you can borrow my glam squad, but I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like I want to just like work with them alone. My stylist over here, Paris, he actually knows a couple of other stylists and some recommendations. So I'll give you some recommendations. I'll go to the consultations with you or whatever, you know, and I'll help you pick out a new stylist. But girl, I need my team back. That's all you had to do. But you did not do that. And instead, you went around to the girls and was making it seem like, oh my gosh, she wants this and she wants my fashion girl and she wants this. And I'm like, how are you going to recommend for the girl to use your glam squad, but then flip it around and be like, she just wants everything I have? Huh? Like, I'm confused. Like, how you, that just doesn't make any sense to me. You get what I mean? It is given, you know, you felt some type of, I don't know why you felt some type of way, but it is given, you felt some type of way that Brit was utilizing your glam squad after you offered. And instead of just being a real ass B and just going to her and be like, bitch, I don't want you using my stuff anymore. You talked about her behind her back, began to be distant, started throwing shade, and that's how you guys started unraveling under control. And I just don't like that. I don't like people aren't psychics. You know what I'm saying? And this is not like, I'm only on Brit's side with the Kelly versus Brit situation. I'm not saying Brit is perfect. Brit done lied. Brit done over-exaggerated. Brit done the most, okay? So Brit's not perfect, but Angela has lied. You know, Shamia has lied and done the most. Portia has lied and done the most, you know, so Brit's lies, you know, might be heavier, but they all lie, tell different things, do different, you know, whatever. So, but you know, is Brit perfect? Absolutely not. That, you know, she's done her fair share of BS on this season on the show. However, you know, I do think that it was a little hateration, a little hotter. I do believe it was a little hateration, a little holleration in that dancery. Do I think so? Absolutely, I do. So, there's that. But no, this episode was really, really good. Shout out to Phaedra. I love the fact that Phaedra is supporting her son, you know, being a fashion designer and literally sewing his items together. It looks like whoever was in that scene with him was a male seamstress. Well, maybe not seamstress, but a seamster. I don't know what a male or whatever, but you know, teaching him how to sew and helping him measure and stuff like that. And I love that. I ain't gonna lie, I definitely did feel some type of way because I'm like, I remember when Phaedra literally had these little boys. I mean, the cutest little boys. Aiden with his little cute self, and Mr. President was literally just the cutest freaking baby. But I'm like, wow, like time is going. Time stops for no one. But yeah, that was really, really nice to see. Angela in this, really, really quick on Phaedra. Phaedra, the schemes have to stop, okay? Angela has gone on Carlos King's show and said that after some deep investigation that all of the roads led back to Athens, Georgia, which is where that guy is from, who came and tried to expose that rumor about Angela's husband, Charles Oakley. Now, Phaedra, this is not good. This is not good, okay? Now, I'm going to say something that might be a little bit problematic. But I do understand why Phaedra told that lie on Kandi and Todd. Phaedra felt betrayed. I'm not saying it's right. Phaedra telling that lie on Kandi and Todd and then feeding it to Portia and, you know, controlling her like a doll to get that rumor out there was absolutely wrong and disgusting. Because I'm pretty sure there's stuff that Phaedra knows about Kandi that's true that you could have stung her with. So I'm not saying that the lie was wrong, but was right. But I do understand why she did it. Phaedra felt betrayed. Phaedra felt like Kandi and her were like this. And from what I understand, Phaedra hadn't done anything, at least on screen, to Phaedra. And by Kandi saying different things, like she was messing with other guys, by Kandi saying different things about, well, actually holding Apollo's, materials when he went to jail, little things like that. I'm not saying Phaedra wasn't doing stuff in the background. What I'm saying is that I can see why Phaedra would be like, I know this, like, are you kidding me? Like, this is my friend. As well as I can see why Kandi would do that. But I can see why Phaedra was like, girl, so you mean to tell me you got my ex-husband stuff in your house? You're talking about I'm dating other people. Like, what are you doing? And then she made up that lie. It makes more sense on why you would do that. She shouldn't have done it at all. But she was doing it out of a revengeful act of anger. There's still some bullshit and some weak ass shit. But at least she did it off of some retaliation. This situation with Angela, what did Angela do to you? It is kind of scary that you would go so deep to find somebody, to pay somebody else to come and show up in this scene and try to put on another fake rumor on another one of your castmates, and it really is for no reason. Like, at least with Kandi, it's like y'all had a friendship and y'all fell out and you were hurt, so you did something, you stabbed her in the back. But what did Angela do to you? And I ain't even lie, that guy who came and showed up at the event to expose Angela's husband, he did look like Chuck. Remember Chuck? That was Monique's husband. Monique with the Y instead of an O. Monique, Monique, whatever. Look, I'm confused because she did spell it MNYNIQW. W. Anywho, she did not spell Monique in the traditional way. But anyway, yes, that guy looked like Chuck. He looked like Chuck. And Chuck was from Athens. Phaedra, you was a dirty, 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 dirty lady. Who does that? Who schemes like that? That is scary. I ain't gonna lie. That is scary. It's one thing to be like, damn, I ain't got no storyline. I don't have much to bring to the season. So let me just say, oh, girl, I heard that your husband was cheating. But to pay somebody, because Angela said that once they got in contact with the guy from the show who exposed the rumor, that he said that a guy paid him, but then ultimately that it came from Phaedra. So the guy was found, paid by Phaedra, but it was paid by a random guy, but orchestrated by Phaedra. I don't know. That's a little. I don't like that. I don't like that sneaky ass, conniving ass shit. And then for Phaedra to be sitting at the table, acting all surprised, and then she calls, Portia and Cynthia, and while they were at Brit's house, and is acting like, oh girl, guess what happened? Knowing the whole time you set that up. But I ain't gonna lie, I gagged when they were all at the table at the cooking event, and the guy who tried to spread the rumor walked away, and they did that toast, and Phaedra said the devil is a liar. I was like, she spoke it. She spoke like, girl, you're talking about yourself. Like, did you not think that it was going to get out? I guess she didn't think Angela was as real and true as she is. I guess she really didn't think that. Because I'm not understanding. Like, she was really sitting there like she did nothing wrong. Similar to the same thing that she did when Candy was like, what is Portia talking about? And Phaedra was sitting right at the end of the table, quiet as I don't know what. You got to watch somebody that goes behind the building and chops the tree down and rubs two pieces of wood together and starts the fire and then goes back around and mingles with the community like nothing happened. That's what Phaedra is giving. Those are the people that you got to watch out for. Them sneaky ass people. I cannot do sneaky people. Oh, that was horrible, but yeah, that's it. That's pretty much all I had to say. You know, Kelly, you was dead ass wrong. I'm so sorry. Like, Kelly, you was dead wrong. Like, you should have pulled, if you and Brit were friends, you should have pulled Brit aside and been like, girl, I don't want you to use my glam squad. And then to expect that she would call you to support you after you were going around talking shit about her and kind of throwing her under the bus, and then acting like, oh, well, she didn't call me. Why would she call you? You didn't call her to talk to her about the glam squad. Why would she call you? At that point, Brit's probably thinking, well, we don't have the type of friendship where we call each other. So she didn't call you. You didn't call her and give her that courtesy. So I don't know. I just think I don't like the trying to create other issues over here because you don't really want to expose the real issue and what you really have, and especially for it being so simple. And I feel like if you're not a true friend, if you cannot go to your friend and have discussions. We're all human beings walking on this earth, and we're all different. We're all the same, but we're all very, very, very different. And you can't expect somebody to just know certain things. You know, I think that is a little ignorant, and I think it's a little disingenuous. You know, and I think friendships are hard, just like regular relationships are hard, and family relationships are hard, and friendships with your relationships with your mom and your dad, like friendships you have to work at. And if you can't go to your friend and be like, look, I care about you, but I'm feeling some type of way and I love you, so I want to work through this with you. If they just cut you off like that or throw you under the bus like that, they, you know, and it just sucks. I liked Kelly. I mean, I still do like Kelly. I really do like Kelly. Like, even from the beginning, though, I loved Kelly. Like, I do love how she had Brit's back, and I do love, you know, she seemed fun and she seemed supportive. I mean, I like Kelly, you know, I really do. But the way that she handled that situation was kind of whack to me. And then also, like, one last thing, and I'm gonna go, throwing up the fact, like, oh, you know, I bought her this and I bought her that, and she, you know, has never shown up for me, and she didn't bring me flowers, and blah 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 blah. And my whole thing is like, don't bring that up now. Don't bring that up now. It wasn't an issue for the year that you guys were friends. I'm pretty sure the way Brit was when you guys were falling out was the same way she was in the beginning. So if you're not going to speak on it, then you can't kind of be like, oh, well, bitch, you suck. When you're not even communicating with her and saying like, hey, girl, I kind of want you to show up more for me. And I think every time Brit, she's a little aloof, but every time somebody says something to Brit, she pulls it together. She came with flowers to Kenya's event. You know, she invited the girls, you know, after Phaedra had that talk with her, she invited the girls. So I feel like she tries. All you have to do is just talk to her. So, you know, I didn't like that. And then also, too, bringing up, you know, Kelly bringing up that Brit didn't want Portia in her house. Like, oh, you invited her to the house. That's another thing I don't like. If while we cool, shit is one way, don't now try to throw some shit out there because now niggas ain't cool no more. That is like the fakest shit. And Brit did it too. Brit did it to Shamia. When Brit found out that Shamia, I guess, was using Kelly's stylist, which Shamia says that's not true. Brit says it is true, but whatever. But when Brit found out that Shamia was using Kelly's stylist, Brit did the same thing and went to Portia and was like, oh, well, I was keeping, you know, what Shamia said about you to myself. But since I found out she's doing this, I'm going to tell you. To me, I feel like that's like the wackest shit ever. Like, if the secret, if the drama, if whatever is cool while y'all friends and y'all kikiing and cheersing and stuff like that, don't be fake as shit and then try to be like, Y'all laughed about it. Y'all had a great time about it. I'm pretty sure Kelly was talking cash money shit about Portia too. But now that you're not cool, you want to like throw it out there. I don't know. There's a lot of fake and phony, fraudulent shit going on. You know what I mean? Like me, I feel like I'm the type of friend. Don't get me wrong. I vent to my close friends. You know, so if I get into an argument with my mom, I might vent to, you know, my best friend. Or if my best friend pisses me off, I might be like, ugh, you know, and vent. But to fall out with somebody and tell all their business, that is the wackest shit to me. And I'm talking about like shit that was cool between y'all when y'all was friends. And then now that y'all not friends no more, you go and you throw them under the bus. So you go and tell their business. That to me is so fake. I know shit about people that I still haven't told people. And we're no longer friends. Because some things I'm just like, that's your business. Like, you know what I mean? Even though me and you ain't cool no more, even though we'll probably never be cool anymore, you know what I mean? Even though, you know, closeness will never ensue ever again, I'm not going to throw you under the bus. I'm not going to go and tell your deepest, darkest secrets because I'm pissed off at you or because we're not friends anymore or because I'm not doing that. Now, I might vent to my boyfriend, pillow talk, but no. I'm not like, oh, bitch, you didn't come to my birthday dinner? Wow, Jarrell, you know she said that your kitchen stinking. Like, you wasn't telling Jarrell that her kitchen stink while you was cool, but now you want to inform and enlighten her that her kitchen stink. Like, no. Phony. But Kelly, you was getting with Brit. Brit, you was getting with Kelly. That was a cute little Venus and Serena tussle back and forth. That was cute. But ultimately, you know, it went really low, but hey, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Vote for me and I'll set you free. Okay, I'm done. Deuces.